welcome to this new video for my channel, The Mental Traveler. I'm J.R.R. and today I'm going to be reviewing J.R.R. Tolkien, a biography. It was published back in 1977 and it was written by Humphrey Carpenter. I'm very excited to be doing this video because it's the first time I'm reviewing a biography for my channel, among other things which I shall later mention. You can sit back and relax. This will be a video without spoilers. Okay, so I've been a big fan of The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit since I was a little girl, and I knew certain aspects of Tolkien's life, but I'd never really delved into a biography aside from reading his article on Wikipedia. But some weeks ago, after I published my review for the Chronicles of Narnia, something happened that made me want to correct this. In case anyone out there doesn't know this, J.R.R. Tolkien and C.S. Lewis, the author of the Narnia books, were friends, and they were both professors at Oxford during the same time, and they used to meet every week to talk in this pub, and I just found that sort of meeting of minds a really fascinating concept. And it has a plus that it was happening in Oxford, that for me is like the birthplace or the center of English literature. Anyways, in my review of the Chronicles of Narnia, a viewer recommended me to read The Inklings, which is a book by Humphrey Carpenter that describes this sort of gatherings between Tolkien, C.S. Lewis and other men. But when I found out that that book dealt a bit more with C.S. Lewis than with Tolkien, I didn't sort of like that because I wanted to learn more about Tolkien than of C.S. Lewis. So when I discovered that that same author had written a biography on Tolkien, I decided it was high time that I became familiarized with an author that I already respected a lot. As all of this was taking place, the news was released that there is going to be a biopic adaptation of Tolkien's life coming out next year. It will star Nicholas Hoult and Lily Collins, so that also served as sort of fuel for me to go on and read more about Tolkien. This is a biography of J.R.R. Tolkien, the famous author, poet, university professor, philologist, World War I veteran, among other things. It begins telling the story of how his parents met, and it ends by his graveside. So we get a pretty good idea of who was this man born in 1892. It spans for more than his 81 years, and through it all we follow Tolkien through his childhood, adolescence, his discovery of true love, and his war services, his years learning and teaching at Oxford, his passion for philology, languages, his role as a family man, as a creator of Middle-earth, his friendship with C.S. Lewis and other writers, his retirement and final years, among other stuff. And we get a pretty good idea, I think, of who he was through all of these stages in his life. Gradually a pattern starts to form, and in a way his traits, likes and dislikes, and everything fall into place, and then everything makes sense why he did or said certain stuff, and why he created Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit and the Silmarillion and all the works he's written based on Middle-earth. I cannot praise this book enough and highly recommend it. I give it a 5 out of 5 stars review. I felt it was a perfect introduction to anyone who's interested into learning more about Tolkien, the man behind the myth. I seriously couldn't put this book down, and I read it in 3 days, and even though I'm not claiming it's 100% historically accurate or something, as a whole it's just wonderful. I just love that realization that now I really have a better idea of who Tolkien was, and in a way this was because his biography read really smoothly, and at times it even seemed like a novel. And I like that. Even though it sort of glosses over certain periods of the author's life, it painted, in my opinion, a really well-made tapestry of the man, from the time when he is a child to his final months. And I can only conclude that Tolkien's life was even more extraordinary than I imagined. Because even though he was a veteran of the Great War, and he wrote this epic masterpiece, and he created this whole world and mythology, among others, which has captured the imagination of the world for decades, Tolkien was also a very common man, and so I could relate to him in many points. I felt he knew loss as a child, and even though he found true love, this book doesn't shy away from admitting that the marriage wasn't perfect all of the time, and even the man himself wasn't a saint. He had certain annoying habits or quirks, just as everyone else does, and there was also a lot of monotony to his life, which is a trait us mere mortals deal with every day at certain times of our lives. And to know that Tolkien also went through such periods makes me have faith and patience for better days to come. And also I love learning how Tolkien came up with certain stuff about Lord of the Rings, how his writing process was like, and how long the road to publication and what a burden fame was. All of this is explained. I didn't want to finish this book in part with such a great mind, but since I couldn't put it down, I finished it quickly and cried at the end. Still, I was left not only wanting to learn more about Tolkien, but about his works which I haven't yet read. For example, Beren and Luthien, The Children of Húrin, The Silmarillion, Unfinished Tales. I believe that for the moment this is all I have to say about J.R.R. Tolkien, a biography by Humphrey Carpenter. Thank you very much for watching my review of it. Please let me know what you thought of it. If you agreed or disagreed about anything I said, I would love to talk about this wonderful man with you. A friend recommended me to check out Tolkien and the Great War, The Threshold of Middle-earth, and so when I read it, I shall be making a review of it. Also, as a side note, I have already done a video where I review The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, both the books and the movie, so you can check them out if you like, because in the description box below I've put a link to them. And whenever I get to read other books by Tolkien or the Inklings by Humphrey Carpenter, I shall be reviewing them as well. In the description box below you can also find a link to the book's Goodreads page. I'm JRRR, the Mental Traveler, and I'll be seeing you soon. Goodbye!